Some persons have condemned the act. Some persons have said, what is the reason? What may have informed this situation? Because the Minister of FCT had no choice, at a point had to escape through the back door. What are these people asking for? What are they looking for? It will also interest you to know that the Nigerian Labour Congress, NLC, also supported the protest. Okay, estimated workers of over 27,000 accosted the FCTA management gross insensitivity to their welfare. That's the reason they are embarking on this strike action, and so many other things that they said was the reason. Do you know what it means for your pension to be deducted but not remitted? Where is this money going to? If you were the one, will you embark on the strike action or not? Please drop comment for us on our social media platform at Global TV NG, especially on YouTube, in case you're mobile and you're not face-to-face with your television right now. Get hooked up with us on our YouTube page, because it is going to be a top-notch discussion right now on the issues. Their demands include the payment of 5 months outstanding wage award, stalled promotion, non-payment of promotion arrears, and of course the alleged failure to remit pension contribution and National Housing Fund deductions since May 2025. And the workers said, well, enough is enough. What do? We can't keep quiet. We need to do something. Well, this is an introduction to our discussion today. It is FCTA workers versus the Minister of FCT, His Excellency Nyesom Wike. When we return from this break, I will introduce my guest and we will get straight into the conversation. Stay with us. All right, welcome back. Let me introduce my guest to you right away. First of all, to my left, I have an elder statesman who is also a public affairs analyst in the person of Dr. Bartholomew Agbechenu. It's good to have you join us on the program.
My pleasure to be here tonight.
And also, I have Barrister Monday Eje. He is a legal practitioner and also a political analyst. It's good to have you join us on the program.
It's my pleasure being here once again. Good evening, Nigerians.
All right, let's get straight to the discussion right away. Barrister, let me begin from you. What is going on in FCTA? If we want to go by the law, do you see what is going on as being okay? I know NLC have supported the protest, all right, but giving it a holistic view, what do you think about the legality of what the workers are doing?
I will start by saying straight away that it's the rights of citizens, workers inclusive, and the labor unions and trade unions to embark on strike actions. Peaceful protest and all of that is a constitutional provision. The right to association and all of that. So, legally speaking, they can do that. But like with every other right that you have, because rights are basically, no matter how natural we think we might want to perceive them to be, they are actually political privileges as well. So where the states usually admit the fact that you have these rights and that you can exercise them, but in exercising them, the states try to coordinate the way and manner in which we do that, so that when you are exercising your own rights to freedom of association, freedom of expression, and all other labor rights that you have under the International Labour Conventions, you will do so in such a manner that it will not affect other people's rights. So it is legal for them to have JUAC, it is legal for them to have NLC, it is legal for them to have Association of Resident Doctors, Nigerian Union of Teachers, as I think Association of Midwives and Nurses had their own strike at some point in time as well. This strike issue I think has commenced from, say, January 2025, and we've been seeing it on and off until we got to this stage. So it is legal in that right. And in having these associations, they must pass through certain registration processes. So once you are registered under the trade unions laws, then you become recognized for the purpose of coordinating workers for their common welfare. And if need be, which is usually the last resort for workers embarking on strike. So once you have all these registrations done, then the steps you take, if you have been recognized, the steps you take now become legal. If you don't have that recognition or that registration, or you've not been acknowledged by the state by virtue of your compliance with certain provisions for registration, you cannot be tagged a labor union. So if you are not tagged a labor union, it might become unlawful for you to exercise certain rights, including representing the workers or the workers you have said you are representing at negotiations, and then worst of it all, calling for strikes. So now, once you are now a union that is recognized, the next thing you now need to worry about is the steps you take. Whether these steps are covered by the Labor Acts, whether they are covered by Trade Disputes Acts, whether they are covered by international labor conventions that have been ratified by the country and under which you can operate as a union. So once you are taking steps and your steps are in tandem with these laws, then whatever you are doing or must have done can then be deemed or tagged legal. So in resolution of disputes, just like we are discussing tonight, this evening, the first thing that you need to do is to explore internal negotiation mechanisms. And then in doing that, you do some internal negotiations. There's a technical name for that anyway. You do some internal negotiations, and then, for example, you reach collective agreements. And I'm aware, let me give examples, like ASU and federal government agreements. I think it was around maybe January 2025 or around June or so, there was agreement between workers in the FCT with the FCTA, because they had one strike sometime last year. Now, if you do that and it doesn't work for you, that's for the workers, then you might need to look into conciliation, mediation. So both parties will come together and appoint a mediator to look at their disputes and help them reach an understanding. If that fails, you consider conciliation, and if that fails, you resort to the arbitration panel. Now, the difference between mediation conciliation that we talked about and an arbitration panel is the fact that for mediation conciliation, basically what you are going to be doing is you agree on terms. The FCT, the management and the workers. They will sit down, somebody is in between both of them, listening to this person, narrowing down their issues, asking them to compromise here or there, and then they reach a decision that they pen down and sign. And then, like we have here, they can proceed to any of the judicial organs responsible, which in this case is the NICN, to probably pronounce it as an instrument that is enforceable in law. And if the mediation fails, nobody is ready to shift grounds and so on and so forth, then they will approach the arbitration panel. The industrial
so in the case of this, what's happening in FCT now,
yes,
what do you think must have transpired?
I'm going
looking at the level of
the foundation. So when you get to the industrial arbitration panel, they look into the matter and they reach a decision, which is called an award. So they reach a decision on the matter. Once a decision is reached, that decision is binding on every party involved. It's different from the other ones. Now, what we have most of the times is that labor unions don't go through this process.
So
once they don't go through this process, or these processes, or these procedures, they don't comply, and they jump the gun to protest or strike, it creates a legal issue. For those of us on the streets, we might not understand how these things work.
So in the case of what's happening in FCT right now,
they didn't.
So this could attract some legal action.
That is the reason why you always have government going to the National Industrial Court. So once you don't comply, yes, you must have said, okay, we want to speak with you, like in the case of the FCT, the minister doesn't want to talk to us, he has refused to meet with us, we are stakeholders in the administration of this territory, we must be listened to, and so on and so forth. What they need to do is to put in a formal letter in that regard. Once that is disregarded, they move to the next stage.
So now you're faulting JWAC for...
Yes, legally speaking.
Legally
speaking now.
Okay.
So now from FIDAS, the fulcrum of the case of the FCTA before the National Industrial Court is that, one, they are alleging that JWAC was not registered as a trade union. JWAC is saying that they are an arm of the NLC or TUC or so. So they can, and that is the reason why, if you look at the action that was filed, or that has been filed by FCTA, what you have there are the names of the president or chairman of JWAC. That's the joint, Joint Union Action Congress, and the name of the secretary. The name of the union itself, JWAC, is not reflecting there as a person.
So Wike now is not suing the union because he felt the union is not registered.
Yes.
So the name there is...
the president and the secretary's name. These are the two persons who called for the strike action. So they proceeded against them. And their counsel has taken it upon himself to ensure that, okay, they correct some of those things. And how does he intend to do this? How did he go about this? He has applied to the court to join NLC and TUC, which are the bodies recognized in law for this purpose, amongst other bodies anyway, but not for JWAC. So that is his own step, and rightly so, to correct this anomaly.
All right.
That's legally speaking. And you know, as we speak today, there's already a court order.
There's a court order, yes.
Restraining them
from the strike action. All right, let me come to elder statesman. Now, they say when you see a toad jumping in the daylight, surely there's a cause. It's either it's after something or something is after it. Barrister have said, well, what happened to an extent, if you want to go with what is stipulated in the law, the action taken so far, okay, might be seen not to be legal. So on your own part now, all right, as someone who is in FCT and have been following the antecedents of the FCT minister, what do you think of this strike action? Can you say, especially, a video, we'll soon watch a video. All right, I think we even need to watch that video before we get into talking about this, where he was being booed. All right, when they were shouting "Ole, Ole," running after his convoy and all of that. The video is there. But then, as we are talking, the video can be playing as we are talking. Now, what do you think? Is that a protest taken too far?
Yeah, as the learned individual was talking, it was good to hear. It was good to hear. Bringing law into what should be done. But the question is this: we Nigerians, are we law bound? Do we obey the law? Does law go to any issues as far as we are concerned with activities? Does the law hold the government hostage when the government misses the road many a times? Have you never seen the government disobeying court orders? And several of them, Wike himself, that is taking Jack to court, is he conscientiously a law-abiding person? Does he see peace? What is happening in Rivers, when you bring it to the fore, you might be tempted to say that the law of karma is telling so much on him. Wike is not known for peace. And if you are not known for peace, war will chase you from left, right, and center. These people, the workers per se, they know really that if anything goes to court, it does not address anything. It does not address anything. See, Wike has been given an assignment in the FCT. He abandons it and starts chasing shadows in Rivers, competing with the governor. Wike wants to be a live governor in Rivers. How will you be packaged to do what you are given to do in FCT? Of course, there will be lapses. There will be lapses. FCT is the center of Nigeria. What you do in Rivers, you can never bring it here. Wike wants to be recognized forever. He had served as governor for 2 terms, and he still does not want to leave Rivers alone.
All right, just hold it.
He does not want to leave Rivers alone and concentrate on governance in the FCT. Definitely, he will have lapses. I'm coming. In terms of the law that your son. Let me call you my opponent.
Your son.
Your son. My opponent has brought.
I'm your son.
You know, actually, when you know that everybody plays his own role to make sure that Nigeria is settled, Abba, when you take matters to court, that is the right place to go. But you and I can attest to the fact that several people have messed up the judicial pathways that we are supposed to tread to have peace in Nigeria. These workers, they really know that we can take this thing to court. He can bulldoze his way through and mess up things. And they will remain in perpetual darkness. And their needs will not be met. And so the last resort is to take a kinetic approach to what is on ground. And many oftentimes than none in Nigeria today, what is happening in Nigeria today, the government is pushing people into kinetic approaches to issues. Yes, of course, when election comes, they go ahead and rig and say, go to court, because they know what they are said to do in courts. They know what they are said to do in court. If the court that they call court is really court,
so
nobody will have any problem.
Now, Wike has gone to court. Are you aware?
I know.
So are you now saying, well, it's going to go in favor of Wike, probably? Is that what you are trying to say?
That is not what I'm saying.
But
what actually I am saying, I don't have confidence in the Nigerian judicial system. That is what I am saying. And these workers too don't have confidence in the Nigerian judicial system. If the Nigerian judicial system are up to task and do what they are supposed to do in the real sense of it, why not? Just like my son has said, why not? Even if the matter goes to court, everybody goes there and the matter is addressed. But you see, many often times than none, when the case goes to court, it is messed up. You and I were singing about the case of Yahya Bello about a year or 2 years ago. The matter is in court, but the man is moving, swinging his hands here and there, and even giving instruction to members of the House of Assembly. If court is court, everybody will settle, like as I am now. If you infringe on my rights, I run to court.
But the case of Yahya Bello, though we're talking about FCT, the EFCC chairman in a television program in one of our sister stations have said, well, the case is still under investigation and EFCC have a way of doing their things. That's, by the way, I'm coming back to you. Let's watch that video and see how he was booed by the workers, how they were running after his convoy and chasing him. Then we'll know what to do or what to say next.
Running out, see him speaking out. See him speaking out. See Wike speaking out. See him running. See him running. Ole! 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 See Wike running. See him running. See him running. Wike is running. Catch him! Catch him! Catch him, catch him, catch him. Ole.
The Federal Capital Territory Administration. The protest is directed at FCT Minister Nyesom Wike over alleged neglect of workers' welfare, including non-promotion of staff since 2023, unresolved salary issues, unpaid entitlements, and illegal deductions. This action comes amid months of industrial unrest across the FCT, with strikes paralyzing public schools, health centers, and area council offices. The Nigeria Labour Congress and its affiliates have threatened to escalate the protest and shut down Abuja after July 3rd if the authorities fail to address.
All right, you watch that video now, right? The way they were shouting, ole, you know, and the way they were running after, that is humiliating for a minister of his caliber. We're talking about FCT minister here. What do you think? Is this not a protest? We know they might be asking for their right, even though barristers have said some of the processes might not be legal. But then, don't you think this is a protest taken too far, Elder?
Listen to me. I have said it, and I'm still saying it again. He who pebbles another with pebbles asks for rock in return. That is late Professor Chinua Achebe in one of his quotes in one of his books, Things Fall Apart. He said, he who pebbles another with pebbles asked for rock in return. What took Wike to Rivers and to begin to tour the 23 local governments in Rivers where there is a governor. You see, because Siminalayi Fubara is too gentle, he can bar him from entering into Rivers. You are going into Rivers. What he has done in Rivers, is it not more catastrophic than what has been done to him? Now, Wike asked for what happened to him. And he was too lucky. It stopped at that. He was too lucky. It stopped at that. And he should see the handwriting on the wall. Wike is too brutal and is bringing a bad name to this administration, to be very, very factual with you. Let him settle down at FCT. He will, my son was saying something, getting into negotiation.
Barrister.
Getting into negotiation, then giving way for arbitration. Does Wike go into negotiation with people? Does Wike go into negotiation?
Okay, you wanted to say something?
Yes,
does Wike go into, because he has proliferated his mind with activities in Rivers.
Oh, all right.
While he is in charge of FCT.
Oh, okay.
He better dedicates his time to FCT
and leave Rivers alone.
He will have the time to negotiate with people. He will have the time to negotiate with people. He doesn't have that time. If you don't have that time, you are, for goodness sake, just like you have said, it is the first of its kind for workers to come up or to come out in this manner.
And run after a minister.
And run after the minister.
All right, Barrister,
so
with all of this now.
Wike better understands the handwriting on the wall and do the need.
All right, that's
very fast.
Maybe let me
yes, Barrister, you
take it up from here. You can ask your question.
Yes, from what he has said so far,
yeah.
He's saying, because you talked about following the legal process, but from what he is saying, from his own angle, he's saying, well, this is not somebody that even have respect for the law, according to him, and that he does not have a listening ear. So at that point in time, can we say the process now is justified, the action?
Well, I will address some of the very fundamental issues that he has raised. Let us know straight away. I've said it on this platform before. If Jesus Christ had 12 disciples, and of the 12 disciples, just 12, one Judas became an issue. Pick that figure, do a small mathematics, and then check that mathematics in terms of the figures, the numbers of politicians we have, judges we have, etc. I'll limit it to the judges. If for every 12 judge, for example, there is one that is not doing well, I don't think it is sufficient for us to crucify the judiciary as a whole. I'm not saying we don't have issues, whether as lawyers, which we describe as the bar, or as judges, which we describe as the bench. There are issues everywhere. Even in individual families, there are issues. But it's not good enough reason for anybody to stand up and crucify his family, annihilate the family. If anybody here has issues today, you still have to run to the judiciary. If it is criminal related, you still have to rush to the security agencies, no matter what you say. So the judiciary shouldn't be crucified. The judiciary as an institution will keep trying its best, regardless of what any of us feels, to ensure that justice is done. Now, there are two wings, two arms, twins of justice. You have the common law angle to it. You have the equitable angle to it. The common law angle talks about law as it is, the letters of the law as they are. I belong to that school of thought. Reason being that if you don't if I start giving you too much leeway with respect to compromising the letters of the law, I'll run very soon. There will be no law. We'll run into issues. Then judges or arbiters will begin to behave in a manner that they want subjectively. So I believe that if the law says take A, B, C, D, E steps, take those steps first. Once you are done taking those steps, you can now do other things. And, you know, Elder is not aware, but I believe the counsel to the workers saw the processes that was filed by the FCTA. Mind you, I've been talking FCTA all along because Wike is not FCTA. Wike is an individual. The office of the minister, FCTA is in charge of the Federal Capital Territory. The minister oversees that territory. The minister is, I think if I'm not mistaken, a corporate soul. So we should be careful not to model the personality of Wike with the FCTA. Even though I'm going to address all other issues raised with respect to Wike. So it is FCT, and that is part of what the minister is saying. I'm not saying it is absolutely correct, but in his own view, he does not feel compelled to meet with them physically, at least not at this stage, from his own perspective. And he has stated that they were in mediation. Mediation was ongoing. They were talking when this strike was pronounced. Thank God, Elder has raised all the political angles to it, though not in the context within which I will begin to x-ray them. The minister has stated after that court order today, and that was my position. I shared with a client this position yesterday. He said some politicians are instigating some of these things. He has also alleged that some directors are ensuring, even when this order has been made, they are still working behind the scene to ensure that this protest or strike actions or whatever continues. That's the political angle to it.
Okay, so what is happening in FCT now? There is a political angle to it.
Yes, and that was what Elder raised.
The demand.
Apart from the demand. Do I disagree with him? No. Do I agree with him? No, not absolutely. Why I'm saying I'm neither here nor there absolutely is because it could be correct. In the sense that I am aware that most labor activities, especially in recent years, you will never have a labor organization or union or leadership that is as good as that as Adams Oshiomhole. Have you not seen many strikes that they call then midnight? They will tell you the strike is no longer going on. Probably the current minister of the FCT has refused to play that game. Until date, we've not been given the details of these demands that labor or workers keep making every now and then. If you are talking about promotion, when did Wike become the minister of FCT? Is your promotion biannual? Or you are holding him responsible for promotions that the other ministers didn't approve for you? Which is the case? Is the case the issue of promotions before he came or promotions that were due when he came? When you see, sentiment is a good way to ride on. It creates convenience. But when you look at issues critically, you create a balancing. I'm not saying that the FCTA or the minister is absolutely right.
All right, let me
because I can also, address some issues from some other angles. He has stated what he has stated. Good enough. The current strike action is not with respect to his activities in Rivers State. It's not with respect to his political interest that is pursuing. The Labour leaders have not told us that. It is Wike that is mentioning it, and Elder that is tilting towards that area. But I know that they hire Labour unions. And if they say, oh, they want to embark on strike, and you call them and run some conversation, Elder didn't tell us that, and you do what you need to do, you will see that they will not go on that strike. But the man has said no.
This strike action now, NUT is fully in support.
I know that NLC have joined, NUT have joined, NLC has joined, even TUC.
TUC.
I'm aware.
One other thing again, you know, you talked about the law, you know,
yes,
that it's not legal. But you know that the protesters' morale was boosted at a point. You know why? Because a renowned human rights lawyer...
Let me bring this out. Their counsel, who is also a renowned human, I give that to him. Barrister Maxwell Okpara is their counsel.
Okay.
And in responding to the motion asking for restraining orders, he had rightly said that, oh, deciding this issue, this strike issue at this stage is tantamount to deciding the substantive issue. I'll be tempted to agree with him, because some of us lawyers usually fall into the temptation of asking at the interlocutory stage a relief that is contained in our main suit. Once you do that, the general rule is do not grant it. But he also asks that in the alternative, the court should refer them to arbitration or mediation.
All right. We are returning back. It is...
But you see, for Rivers State,
before we talk about Rivers State, there's a video that we'll even play as regards Rivers State, because Wike's activity right now is spanning between FCT and Rivers State. You can't talk about Wike in FCT and don't mention Rivers State.
I'm avoiding the temptation of reducing this conversation.
Let's go on a quick break. This is, you can see this, that picture shows when they were still layers, because Afubara was once Wike's boy. But then let's go on a quick break. After this break, when we return, we'll watch a video, all right, of a sitting that happened and what those people were saying concerning Rivers State. These are stakeholders. After this break, issues return again to your screen.
Civil society organizations, the Conference of Nigeria Political Parties, CNPP, and the Coalition of National Civil Societies Organization, CNCSOS, after a meeting in Abuja, expressed concerns over renewed impeachment threats against Rivers State Governor Similaye Fubara. They say following the governor's return to office and the defection of some lawmakers of the Rivers State House of Representatives, Nigerians expected reconciliation and a renewed focus on governance, but the state has instead slipped back into political tension.
Our intervention is driven by a solemn patriotic duty to defend constitutional democracy, protect the mandate of the people of Rivers State, and avert a grave political precedent that now threatens national peace and democracy. What is unfolding in Rivers State goes far beyond politics. It represents a critical test of Nigerian commitment to constitutional governance, separation of powers, and democratic stability.
The groups insist that Governor Similaye Fubara has not committed any offense that meets the constitutional requirements for impeachment under Section 188 of the 1999 Constitution as amended, noting that there are no credible allegations of gross misconduct.
Let us be clear. Governor Fubara has not committed any act that meets the constitutional threshold for impeachment under Section 188 of the 1999 Constitution as amended. there is no credible allegation of gross misconduct, no paralysis of governance, no popular uprising demanding his removal.
To describe the situation as a weaponization of Rivers State House of Assembly, accusing lawmakers of political intimidation rather than democratic oversight. The group urged President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, as president and leader of the All Progressive Congress (APC), to intervene urgently, warning that failure to act could encourage similar crises in other states and endanger national unity and democratic stability. Ubong Usoro for Global Television News.
All right, well, that is the video right there. These are elders that came together, all right? And of course, you heard what they were saying. President need to intervene. Some persons are even saying, well, what's happening in Rivers State is not supposed to be so. And they've described it in so many ways. You were saying something in connection to that. That's why I wanted to play this video for you to look at it before it comes in.
Now, the situation is this with respect to the Rivers State politics. For whatever reasons, as a human being, I like principles. And like I told somebody in one of my conversations on these issues with the person, loyalty and betrayal, loyalty and disloyalty and betrayal are not principles that I cherish. Whether you like it or not, if you don't want to comply with certain terms and conditions, I contested elections myself in school, and it's not different from what we have in our society. I can tell you that. The violence, the financial commitment, and all of that. And we had a meeting in my house, in my room, when I was about to contest that election. And then they were making demands for entertainment and all of that. Sincerely speaking, I don't have the money. I just felt I could add to the welfare of students at the level of the Student Representative Assembly. And I called them and said, look, I can't do this. The person who coordinated that gathering for me, I called the person out and whispered to him, I cannot do this. My intention is to go and face cultists and school management when I'm promoting your welfare, to do it fearlessly. I don't think I should put in money into this cause. I feel that if people think that I'm good for the position, they should support me to get there. That killed that ambition. Here you have a man who is not even a politician. Somebody that was an accountant, was in the civil service. And the outgoing governor, who is the current minister, looked at the situation. In Rivers State, they have this demarcation. Is it upland and lowland? I don't know how they call those their demarcation. This current governor was from an area that has been consistently denied that seat. The minister took it upon himself, for reasons best known to him. Oh no, these people must get it this time around, what, and picked a non-politician. They reached, and anyhow you want to describe the agreement, they reached an agreement. For us that are on the streets, we can say, oh, it's ungodly, it's immoral, it's corruption, it's whatever. If you don't want to comply, if you will not do what they said that you should do, why did you accept to be governor? And if it is the people that will give you the power, why didn't you refuse the arrangement and go to another party so that the people who are not, because many analysts will be telling you, whatever arrangement it has to be an arrangement, the people should be the paramount thing, that should be the what are we saying? Let us not lie to ourselves now, we should be realistic. Politics is not church gathering now, it's not a gathering of people in the mosque. I can tell you clearly, it's not a moral terrain. If you want to contest election, you cannot be righteous and win an election all over the world, not only in this country. So let us stop deceiving ourselves. These people have their rules.
So you mean Wike is exercising his rights? So there's a breach of contract.
Within the political setting, no matter what anybody says, they have an arrangement. As Fubara himself told you what the arrangement is still today, tell me if any of us here have the content of that arrangement. None of them will say it. But it's even probably deeper than that. And then all of a sudden, for reasons best known to some other politicians, they go there, they team up with him and say, oh, this is your misbehavior, don't worry, continue, we are of the APC flock, we are going to support you, just decamp and join APC.
Hey, all right.
And I'm coming, I will land somewhere now. I might not even talk again, I'll be contented. Let me arrive with this line of thought. For reasons best known to them, they do that, and you stand up and then you start flashing, I am 001, I'm the leader of the party. Let me tell you today, go and write it down. Both the PDP structure in quotes, we are not talking about the people of Rivers. We are talking about some of the people of Rivers State, not all. Both the PDP structure and the APC structure in Rivers State is under the control of Wike as we speak today. And they held a by-election yesterday. Elder said Wike is parading, he went all the local governments. It's called show of force. If there are people somewhere, because Wike himself has mentioned that these upheavals in the FCT is being packaged for people.
We have
they held a by-election yesterday. Fubara's candidates lost primary elections in APC in Rivers State.
All right. Okay. Finally, now, as we round up in just 2 minutes, Elder,
I won't talk again. Because some of the things I would have said, you have to, I want to say in 2 minutes.
Okay, in conclusion now, before we go, what things
I have to say?
Just say them.
I will say them. I have a minimum of 10 minutes to say them.
Go ahead.
What I'm trying to say, I just want to clear from what Barrister said. He said that Jesus had 12 disciples.
One was bad.
And one
terrible.
was bad. And he is trying to juxtapose that with what is happening in the judicial system in Nigeria. Look, let me tell you, when you are talking to people, you should also read the people. Nigerians are Nigerians. They know
very corrupt people. Nigerians are very terrible people.
They know what is happening in Nigeria.
Including those that are blaming Wike.
They know that the judicial system in Nigeria is bad, just like I am saying.
Is the judiciary not made up of Nigerian citizens?
Listen to me. I know that the judicial system is bad. Now, before you get justice from court as it stands today, you who is taking the case to court, the person you are taking to court should be as poor as yourself. If the two of you are poor, no problem. The judge has no option than to divide the line equitably.
But money will come out when there is problem.
But if somebody has the power to wield over the decision of the judge, it can change the tide.
That's it. You just hit the nail now, Elder.
So
you just hit the nail.
If the two are big horses, big elephants,
then the ground will suffer.
The bigger one.
So that is how it is. Listen to me.
We don't have time anymore. Don't worry. I'm still going to argue. We are still going to talk about this. We are going to come back again. We'll come back again and discuss. We'll come back again because of our time. The news is coming up right now. We'll come back again. Well, we can't finish talking about the issue of Wike and FCT workers. Now it is a battle line that has been drawn between FCT workers and, of course, Wike, the minister of FCT. But then the case is in court. How much trust does Nigerians have in the judicial system? That is the battle right now. Thank you very much for joining us, Elder. Thank you very much for coming around, Barrister.
The pleasure is mine.
We will do this again. I'm assuring you of that. Thank you, everyone, for being part of Issues. My name is Ramsey Enoch Agbo. Bye for now.